Is the last thing you do at night, check your phone? Is the first thing you do in the morning, check your phone? This was like getting off crack. For me, I now sleep with my phone actually in another room. Oh, fuck. Look, this is bringing up stuff. This is what we call the addict mentality.
I think addiction is something that everyone experiences at some point in their life, but I don't think addiction is something that most people relate to. You know, I think addiction is one of those things that most people see that other people have as an issue.
What you've got to understand is all device manufacturers have developed their devices to actually release endorphins and dopamine. Now, what do you think drive addiction? Endorphins and dopamine. Your devices are literally addictions.
I think what a lot of people don't realise, and it was Candace Pert who actually discovered this, that emotions actually work in the same receptors in the brain as substances like alcohol, drugs, and other forms of barbiturates. And so when we understand that, we start to realise that we aren't just addicted in some cases to substances or in some cases to our phone. In some cases we're addicted to our emotions. And unless those emotional needs are met, we will set situations up in our environment to trigger those emotions in order to get that addiction satisfied.
We're all addicted to something. We're all addicts of something, okay? The question is it external or is it internal? Like I'm an addict. I became addicted to speed when I was 19 for about 9 months.
But there's also benefits to addiction as well. I know for me personally, addiction made me incredibly resourceful, because when you are addicted to something and you want that fix, you will go to any means necessary within whatever your moral compass will allow you to do in order to get that fix.
But the thing that I've learned most that is a governing factor, unless you're dealing with a person who is admitting that there's a problem, transformation will not take place. Unless you're dealing with a person who comes forward and goes, okay, I've finally realized the consequences of my current situation, the consequences of my current way of thinking are producing a result that are not helping me. Unless someone's got to that point, the chance of transformation is very unlikely. You've got to be willing to admit that there's a problem, which is not a bad thing, it's a great thing. It actually means that you're ready to grow. And in order to admit that there's a problem, there's got to be a level of consciousness. You've got to be aware and you've got to be thinking, should I really be drinking this beer? Should I really be taking this? Should I really be indulging in this emotion right now? Should I really be behaving this way? Or maybe I can find a different and a better way to do things.
I don't think there's anything wrong with addictions. I think the only thing wrong with addictions is when you're unaware, when you're completely unconscious of the fact that you need something. I think judgment and bias is probably a bigger disease than addiction itself. And I think if we can get over our bias and remove the judgment, then we actually stand a chance of having the opportunity to not only help and heal more people, but even helping and healing ourselves.
The best advice I can give you right now is remove technology for extended periods of time every single day. Do you know what happens when you don't have your phone with you when you go to bed and when you wake up? You speak to your partner in bed. Yeah, because before, my wife and I would wake up and then all you'd hear is
because when people view addiction as something that is bad, it's a label as bad, it's oftentimes when it has a negative association, it's not one that they ever want to give to themselves. So when we have this bias, when we have this judgment in the public space that is so negative, why would someone want to admit that they're an addict? And if they can't admit they're an addict, how are they going to get help? So I think, we need to, as a community, need to start looking at and viewing addiction differently.